Hello, everyone. We're going to work on a yoga flow sequence to get the body warmed up, internal core temperature warmed up, and systems online and integrated and functioning to their optimal levels, just wherever our bodies are at. So, our yoga practice allows us to meet our potential where we're at in the moment without forcing anything that is beyond uh, an appropriate challenge for where our body's at. So that being said, let's start with warming up the spine. So first we'll take the feet hip width distance apart and windshield wipe the knees side to side, breathing into the lower back as we do so. And on the next breath, touching. And then on the next breath, take the hands to the knees, give yourself a hug in and release. Open up the feet as wide as your yoga mat, windshield wipe side to side. And then we'll do the other direction. So same thing with the knee circles, drawing the knees in, lifting the chest, increasing the distance between the chest and the belly button, and then drawing the knees in the opposite direction in circles. Again, knees can be apart. They don't have to be touching. Feet can be touching here. Try not to let the knees splay apart too wide. And on that next breath, release the feet back down. Open up the feet as wide as your yoga mat and windshield wipe the knees side to side. And on that next breath, we're going to rock back and forth on the spine. So we can start first by just lying back on our backs, hugging the knees in towards the chest, rounding out the spine, drawing the nose up towards the knees, and then creating some rocks back and forth from here. And if you're comfortable rocking all the way up and then rocking all the way back, you can do that as well. We're only rocking as far back as the shoulder blades, so not going further than the shoulder blades. Keeping the spine nice and round like a ladybug spine, rounded out so that you're not falling back on the spine, but that you're actually massaging the muscles on either side of the spinal column. One more rock here, back and forth. And on that next breath, rock yourself up to seated or use your hands to guide yourself up to seated. And we'll swing the legs behind us to come up onto all fours. I'll turn around so you guys can see better. So on all fours, let's tap it out here through the shins, releasing any tension there, lifting the shins and rocking the shins side to side. And then relaxing the shins down and rocking your hips side to side. And we'll draw a couple circles here with the hips, large round circles, like we're stirring a pot with a spoon of the hips. And then on the opposite direction, circles with the hips, large as circles as the hips can create here. And then on that next breath, we'll come back up onto all fours, some cats and cows, moving the breath along the spine. Inhale, belly towards the floor, and exhale, round out the spine, drawing the chin in towards the chest. Back and forth. Inhale, belly down, and exhale, round out the spine. Inhale, belly down, and exhale, round out the spine. One more time. Inhale, belly down, and exhale, round out the spine. And then relaxing back into a neutral spine. We're going to take that right leg out behind us, toes curled under on the yoga mat, and press the right heel down, feeling the calf muscle lengthen out here. You can let the head hang, letting the forehead relax down towards the direction of the floor as you lengthen out through that right leg and right calf muscle. And then on the next breath, release the leg, lift it up parallel to the floor and give it a good shake out to create some space in the hip joint. And then we'll bend that right knee and draw a couple large hip circles with the right hip. And release the right knee down back on all fours, rock the hips side to side. We can even come down onto the elbows here to relax the wrists. Hands together, palms face up, forehead rests on your palms, and we rock the hips side to side. One more breath here. And then bringing the hips back to center, we'll guide ourselves back up onto all fours. And take that left leg out behind you, toes curled under on the yoga mat, and press that left heel back. So we're lengthening out the calf muscle here as we press the heel down towards the direction of the floor. One more breath here. And on that next breath, release the leg, lift it up parallel to the floor, and give it a good shake out to create some space in the hip joint. And then bend the left knee and draw some hip circles with that left hip. One more breath here. And then release. Child's pose. Open up the knees, sit back, walk the hands forward. And we're letting the hips sit back onto the heels of the feet here. We can also flip the hands upside down, having the palms face the ceiling. This rotates the shoulders open. And then we're going to rock the hips side to side and let that wave of the rocking motion move up the spine, which also allows the forehead to rock side to side as well. And opening up through the side ribs, we're going to walk the hands out to the right, as far as they can go out to the right, and push the floor away from you with the right hand, which will create some new space in that left rib cage. So the more we press the floor away, the deeper opening we'll get through that left rib cage as the left armpit sinks down towards the floor, towards the direction of the floor. And then release, walking the hands back to center and out to the left as far as you can go out to the left. And you can bend that left elbow and push the floor away from you with the left hand, breathing space into that right rib cage. And on that next breath, walking the hands back to center, guiding yourself back up onto all fours. Coming up into our down dog, we're going to curl the toes under here, press the hips back, and on your next breath, come up into your down dog. Let the head hang here. And we're going to inhale up onto the toes, exhale, press the heels down. 2 more times, moving with the breath. Inhale up onto the toes. Exhale, press the heels down. And again, inhale up onto the toes. And exhale, press the heels down. Walk your dogs, alternatively pumping each heel towards the floor. Slow motion, rocking the hips side to side as we pump the heel, one heel at a time, towards the floor. Then finding your down dog, opening up the feet hip width distance apart. We're going to work the legs one leg at a time by just rocking the leg. We'll start with the right leg, rocking the leg up and down, kind of like a teeter-totter, opening up the hip joint here, up and down. Kind of freely swinging the leg up and down. One more time. And then release that right leg down, find your down dog. And then we'll do the other side. Swinging the left leg up and down. Opening up through the hip joint here. And on that next breath, releasing the left foot down, and we'll come back onto all fours. On all fours, we'll come down onto the elbows, puppy dog pose. We're going to walk the hands forward, relaxing the forehead down. You can relax either the forehead down or the chin or the side of the head, resting on your yoga mat as you walk those hands forward. If this is too intense for the shoulders, you can bend the elbows and bring the arms out sideways and just let your chest sink towards the floor. So this is a upper back bend where we're allowing gravity to do the work for us. You're letting the chest sink towards the floor. The more we move the chest or the hands forward, the deeper opening you'll create there, returning the flow of blood from the hips down towards the heart. And on that next breath, walking the hands into child's pose. Open up the knees, sit the hips back, and again, rock your hips side to side.
We're going to bend the elbows here just to release the triceps. So walk the hands forward and then bend the elbows, bringing the hands behind the neck. And you can use the hands here to massage from the shoulders up to the neck and from the neck back down towards the shoulders. On that next breath, release the hands down and use the hands to guide yourself up. So as we come up here, we're going to take that right leg forward into a lunge on the right. So in that lunge, we're going to curl the left toes under and straighten out that left leg, finding a long line from the heel all the way to the crown of the head. If you want blocks underneath your hands here, you can place blocks underneath to raise the floor to meet you. So finding that long line here, just gently rock back and forth, the hips and legs forwards and back, and this opens up the front of the left hip. One more breath, rocking it back and forth. And then on that next breath, we're going to straighten out both legs. So you may need to walk that back foot in slightly. This is where blocks can be very helpful underneath your hands. So if the hips are tight, take that right leg and kind of wiggle it out to the right a little bit. Take that left leg and wiggle the left foot out to the left a little bit to give yourself more room for the hips. And then we're going to take the right thumb to the right hip crease and gently pull back. So we're pulling back, feeling that hamstring open up through the whole back of that right leg. So please do place blocks underneath your hands if you want to raise the floor to meet you. So opening up through the chest here, we're going to work our triangle pose and reverse triangle. So release that right hand down. Inhale the left arm up. And exhale, release down. So we want to open up the chest towards the ceiling. Inhale, lift that right arm up. Lift the chest up towards the ceiling. And exhale, release. We'll do that 2 times on each side. Inhale, left arm up. And exhale, release. Inhale, right arm up, lifting through the chest. And exhale, release. One more time. Inhale, left arm up, lift the chest towards the ceiling. And exhale, release. Inhale, right arm up. And exhale, release. Then we're going to bend the right knee, walk the hands forward, and lift that back leg up. We're just going to keep the leg parallel to the floor, creating the letter L with the feet. And in your letter L, you can keep the hands on the floor, or you can bring one hand to the heart. Or if you want to really work your balance, bring both hands to your heart. And you might need to adjust with the hands there, working your balance. One more breath here. And then release the hands down and sink back into your lunge. And release the left knee down and tap that foot out. Just rock the hips open here. Inhale the hips forward. Exhale, pull the hips back. Inhale, hips forward. And exhale, pull the hips back. Just 2 more of these, rocking back and forth. And then on that next breath, we'll draw that right leg back. Child's pose, open up the knees, sit back. And on the inhale, slide the heart forward and up. Gentle Cobra here. And exhale, child's pose. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, draw the chest forward and up. And let's come into a supported Cobra. Come onto the elbows. Bring the legs together to touch. So as we bring the legs together, we're kind of hugging the ankles in, hugging the thighs in towards each other. Elbows are underneath the shoulders here. And then pull your tailbone back towards the heels of the feet. When we pull the tailbone back, it lengthens your lower back. And then gently push the floor away from you with the elbows. That'll help to lift the chest and lengthen the spine without crunching into the lower back, so long as you're pulling the tailbone back towards the heels of the feet. And then just to work the quads here and release tension around the knees, go ahead and kick the heel one leg at a time towards your glutes. And that just kind of opens things up there. If that's too intense, then just do it a little bit slower, where we draw one heel in, release, and then draw the other heel in and release. One more time each side. opening up the flexibility in the lower back. And on that next breath, release back down. Curl the toes under, bring the hands in beside the shoulders, and press right up into your down dog, finding your down dog. And then on that next breath, bend the knees, pull the hips back, look up between the hands, and draw the hips back and forth a few times. You're just going to find a little bit of a bounciness, a buoyancy in the hips. And as you're looking up between the hands, as you pull the hips back and forth, feel like the hips are riding a wave, up and down and up and down. And on that next breath, with feeling this bounciness in the hips, you can either hop or step the feet forward between the hands. Inhale, forward fold. Exhale, release the chest. Inhale, heart lifts in your forward fold, and exhale, fully forward fold. One more time. Inhale, heart lifts in your forward fold. Exhale, fully release into your forward fold. And then bend the knees, and we can hop or step the feet back into your high plank. Holding your high plank here for 2 breaths, just gently rock back and forth. That activates the abs. Pull the abs in, pull the tailbone back towards the heels of the feet. And then release the knees down. And just rock the hips side to side here, keeping your belly pressing in through to the spine as you rock side to side. And then open up the knees, sit back into child's pose again. Relaxing the forehead down, guiding yourself back up onto all fours. Let's do the other side here. So we'll bring that left leg forward into lunge and curl the right toes under, straighten out that right leg, and find a long line from the heel through to the crown of the head. And again, just gently rock back and forth. When we rock back and forth, you feel the front of the hip open up. It may be helpful to place blocks underneath the hands here. Then on that next breath, pivot that back foot down, and we're going to straighten out both legs. Remember your options here. You can wiggle that right foot out to the edge of your yoga mat, wiggle the left foot out to the left edge of your yoga mat to widen the space between the feet if the hips are tight to give us more room. And then playing with our triangle and reverse triangle, we're going to inhale, reach the right arm up. Exhale, release it down. Inhale, left arm up. And exhale, release down. Each time we turn, we're lifting the chest up towards the ceiling. Inhale, lift the chest up towards the ceiling with that right arm coming up. Exhale, release. The reverse one is a little harder to do. Inhale, lift the chest up towards the ceiling. And exhale, release. One last time on each side. Inhale, lift the chest up towards the ceiling. Right arm comes up. Exhale, release. And reverse triangle. Inhale, lift the chest up towards the ceiling. Left arm comes up. And exhale, release. Take that left hand to your left hip. Hook the thumb into the hip crease here. The thumb hooks into the hip crease. And we pull that hip crease back. I'll turn around so you guys can see better there. We're pulling that left hip crease back. You feel that whole length of the left hamstring open up here. And then on that next breath, release the hands down, bend the knees, walk the hands forward, and might need to bring that back leg in a little bit before we get ready to lift it up to our letter L. On the inhale, lift that right leg up. Try and keep the hips parallel, which just means try not to let that right hip come up. Lower it down, parallel hips, letter T, or with the body, or letter L with the legs. And we can bring one hand to the heart if you want, or both hands to the heart if you want to play around with your balance. One more breath wherever we're at. And then release that back leg down. Release the right knee down. Tap it out. And we'll just rock the hips back and forth a couple times. Inhale, hips forward. Exhale, pull the hips back. Inhale, hips forward. And exhale, pull the hips back. And on that next breath, we'll draw that right leg back into our child's pose. Open up the knees, sit back in your child's pose, walk the hands forward, rock the hips side to side. And as we feel
that rocking motion. Let that rocking motion move up the spine, allowing also your forehead to rock gently on your yoga mat as well. And then from there, we'll walk the hands in, guiding ourselves up into a comfortable seated position. Finding your comfortable seat here. Take the hands behind the hips, rock it side to side. Just feeling each sit bone root and anchor into the earth. Taking the hands to the heart, rubbing the hands together, feeling that heat and energy from the heart, and using that to smooth out the body, the arms, the chest, hair, back and legs, just neutralizing everything and out, shaking it out through the hands, and thanking yourself for a fun little 20-minute practice today. Have an awesome rest of your day.